Hi, welcome back to the Dolls Room. So I am on a mission. I've gone back to my little black book, and my little black book is where I have written all of the names and all of the dates as my characters have arrived. And going back through my playlists, I was trying to do a little review in order of when the different characters arrived to me. And I realized that I did not do a review of Lucy yet. So today is Lucy's review. I received her on August 3rd, 2015. So Lucy's story is pretty special. She was originally the second milk latte that I adopted. So going back to what happened there, when I first started collecting, I got milk latte and I didn't have the courage to change anything about her. I didn't want to open her, I didn't want to change her eye chips or her hair or do any of those modifications, but I was so curious to know what it would be like to do that. And instead of getting a different Pullip and doing those changes to that Pullip, because I probably would have had the same attachment issues, I got a second milk latte. And so it was extremely fun because I was able for the first time to experiment with eye chips and wigs. And then they were twins, they were sisters, but with a little bit of a difference between them. And then as the months went by and I ended up collecting other Pullips, I kept looking at this second milk latte. And no matter how many times I changed her eye chips or her wigs, I wanted to see what it was like to change her face up. And very quickly I decided that I didn't have the courage to do that, so I sent her to Nomyens. And at the time I had been seeing all the different artists that do face-up commissions, and some of the ones that I really wanted to commission just were no longer taking commissions, or their wait list was too long, one thing after the other. But Nomyens was willing to accept my request. It took a lot because she is located in Thailand, so I had to ship my doll all the way to her. I was very nervous about tracking, so I think I did it with certified mail, which was really expensive and ironically really slow, because as certified mail it has to be, what's the word, not necessarily approved, but confirmed at each of its locations along the way. And I don't actually remember how long it took because this was a while ago, but I'm gonna say it took maybe 6 to 8 weeks from the time that I sent her to the time that she came back. But Nomyens does such gorgeous work that I really think it was worth it. So let's look at her a little bit. As part of my commission, I sent images of previous work that Nomyens had done. And what I asked for was I wanted a little bit of a modification to the lips. I don't think she did a modification. No, she didn't modify the nose, but a little bit of carving and modification to the lips. I wanted a particular color scheme, and I was looking at a lot of rosy colors. Very simple and sweet. You can't see it too well with the reflections of the camera, but there are tiny little white dots on the far edges. Nomyens has these great eyelashes that she adds. And then of course when Lucy came back, I put her on a Nobitsu body, so she would have all of that ability of mobility and expression of movement. So pretty immediately when Lucy arrived, I chose a red wig for her. I thought it looked so beautiful, just really brought out the beauty of her blue eyes. And that wig has since then become the permanent wig on my Pullip Aurora. She has such stunning eyebrows that I felt her stock wig was a little silly. The thick bangs coming down so far that you couldn't see just how fierce she is with her eyebrows. So I really like the side sweep, and I like being able to keep her in this deep red wig. The second red-headed wig that I got for Lucy was kind of this classic middle part, although on Dita I have it as a side part, little wavy red wig. And it's so beautiful on her, but this wig, even though it is sized at 8 to 9 inches, is really tight, and it popped off all the time and it drove me crazy. And actually on Dita, I think I actually don't want to pry too much to look, but I did a Velcro strap, a Velcro tape. One day I got adventurous and decided to put this carrot colored mohair wig, and it blew me away. I thought when I started changing up the Pullips, doing eye chips and wigs, that I would change that a lot, that it would be really fun to be willing to completely change the character. But with a lot of the dolls that I've had for a longer time, they've really come to settle, I've really come to settle on the look that I have found suits them the best. I mean, I also have a limited quantity of wigs. I think if I bought a bunch of brand new colors and styles, that I might get a little bit more adventurous again. But of the wigs that I have, they've slowly distributed themselves out to be the permanent wig for each for a different particular character. And this is Lucy's. I love that you can still see her brows. I love that all the aspects of the hand-painted, hand-drawn, and hand-designed look of her face-up are visible. I even ran a poll, well, a really informal poll with a couple pictures of Lucy in the Lutz wig and a couple pictures of her in this mohair wig, asking what people preferred, and there was a split. There were people that liked both, but the more conservative Lutz wig won out. And I didn't really care, because I think even before I posted the poll, I was pretty set on favoring this look for Lucy. It suits her. She has a little bit more of a wild spirit. When I bought this milk latte, this was definitely not what I expected to change her to, and it just depends. With the Pullips, the make and own kits are released, so it makes more sense to buy a blank kit if you're gonna have a complete change of the character. I think at the time the make and own kits were not being released very frequently, as again now I think they're pretty that they're getting more scarce. And when I was approved to commission Nomyens, I wanted to take advantage of that as quickly as possible, and I couldn't get my hands on a blank kit, and I knew that I was ready to see a change on the stock doll that I had. Nothing, I mean, not a trace remains of the originals, so that's something to consider. I did the same thing for Pullip Tifona, but that's because her stock personality and look was doing nothing for me. So it was either sell her or change her up. And I love the changes that that artist made for her. So that will be its own video. And so this is just how I have her styled, but a little rundown. So of course the wig is from Nomyens on Etsy. The little sweater I crocheted. This beautiful dress is by Lullaby for Dolls, and it came with a matching little bow, but she's not wearing it. I can't remember right now the vendor for the stripy stockings, but I'll try to look that up. That's also from Etsy. And then of course the sweet little shoes from Kratai Craft. I'll put all of those links below, as well as a link to the the customizer. She does beautiful work. She's a little bit more expensive, and I'm glad that she asks for a fair price for her work. As always, a little bit of a slideshow of pictures of Lucy, and thanks for watching.